Hello again, sellers. I'm Andrea Stairs. I know many of you, but for those I haven't met yet, I'm eBay's VP of Global Markets and Seller Community. Joining me today, I've got Thomas Walker, Senior Director of Consumer Insights for eBay, and Adrian Fung, eBay's VP of Customer and Performance Marketing. You just heard from Steph J., our SVP and Chief Business and Strategy Officer, who detailed how enthusiast buyers, our avid collectors, category fans, and passionate community members are key to unlocking your business growth. In this segment, you'll hear from Thomas, Adrian, and me about the ways we're crafting stories and investing our marketing dollars to drive the most engaged buyers to your listings. We'll share some of the marketing science we rely on so you know the fundamentals of our marketing strategy. And we'll cover how we're creating strong emotional connections with buyers and not just awareness to generate both positive perceptions and long-term loyalty over time. We'll also look at the different moments at which we're connecting you with buyers, using data-driven precision to drive clicks to your stores and listings. To kick things off, I'm going to turn the mic over to Thomas, who drives the science behind much of our strategy. Hey, Thomas.
Hi, Andrea.
Here you go.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, sellers. I'm Thomas Walker, and I lead eBay's Global Consumer Insights. Perhaps the best way for me to describe what the Insights team does is to say, if you've ever received a survey from eBay, you're welcome. In all sincerity, thank you for taking the time to give us feedback. It's hugely valuable, so keep it coming. My team's job is to ask questions like, what's important to buyers? What will most benefit you, our sellers? Important questions we need to answer before we build product, invest in category, or launch a marketing campaign. For the purposes of today, I'd like to focus in on consumers and how we're learning about them and the action that we're taking to bring you more buyers. The first step is taking a consumer-centric approach to drive growth. This is essentially understanding what eBay and non-eBay buyers and sellers want and to help eBay take action on that information. This informs where we invest our money, our time, our resources to create strategies and action plans that connects with buyers and drives them to your listings. And finally, we want to give you the edge. We don't only want to win their business one time, but we want them to keep coming back for more. There's one key question that we need to answer, which is, why should consumers choose eBay? We recently did a global study to answer that question, which was basically to understand what is it that causes consumers to shop where they go and to keep coming back over and over again. There were three fundamental questions that we sought to answer with this work. Number one, what do consumers value? Number two, what are they looking for from eBay? And lastly, how can we win with them? The ultimate goal of this effort is to drive buyers to your listings. I'd like to take you through a framework, which we did as part of this effort, which is to understand how consumers make decisions and what we need to do so that we can win with them at each step of the journey. It's one thing to get buyers to our site. It's another thing to get them to click, and even more so to keep them coming back for more. In looking at this question from a consumer perspective, there are four key phases of a shopper's journey. Number one, the first thing that happens is I get inspired. And what I mean by that is, as an example, I need to get some new windshield wiper blades for my car. It could be a replacement item, or I may need a passion item. Maybe I want to get a guitar. Maybe I'd like to buy some electronics. Whatever the case may be, I have a need, and I decide, where am I going to shop? And that right there sets me off on my journey. And once we reach that moment, we then begin to move into the active evaluation stage. When we get to evaluation, it's very critical that we show up. This is a stage where, in my example, I need windshield wiper blades. I search, I go online, I might visit a few websites, I talk to my friends, I'm looking online on social places. That's basically what's going on in this stage, is I'm looking for information and deciding where I'm going to buy. It's critical, and Adrian's going to talk in more detail about how we are making sure that we show up in the places where buyers are shopping to bring them to your listings. One important point in the active evaluation stage is you don't even just have to show up. You got to make sure you're relevant and that you're also meaningful, and that you keep their attention because it's a crowded space in which we compete. After I go through the evaluation, I get to begin to evaluate my options. I make a decision. This is really where the rubber meets the road. There's a winner and there's a loser. The decision is made because, back to my example, I looked at 3 sites for my windshield wiper blades, and I only chose one. That is the one place that got the order. So when consumers get to that stage, it's really critical that we have the trust, that we make it very clear what they're going to get and when, and that they have clarity and confidence that we're going to be able to deliver. Now I've made that decision, and I'm in the last stage of my journey, which is called the post-purchase experience. During this phase, it's vital that we either meet or exceed their expectations. A great post-purchase experience sets us up for return visits. And then there's one small loop after that, which is what we call the loyalty loop. And as we deliver consistent, great experiences time after time again, it becomes easier for buyers to choose us. That's loyalty, and that's free money. The last thing I'd like to cover is what I like to say is, what's our superpower? All of this work had to go into identifying what is it that really sets eBay apart. And it really boiled down to 3 things: community, choice, and confidence. We are more than a marketplace. We are a community. You make up our community. You power eBay by offering the best of what enthusiasts are looking for. The inventory that you bring to eBay gives consumers the choice they're looking for. And lastly, consumers need to be confident. And this is where we are really leaning in. Trust is a word that you're going to hear a lot about because it's so foundational to building a strong relationship with buyers. In sneakers and luxury and collectibles, trust is about authenticity guarantee. In refurbished tech, it's about condition grading. And in parts and accessories, it's about the perfect fit. Each one of these pillars is critical. Individually, there are powerful messages and a promise behind them. But when we put them together, we are a superpower. Over the next 3 days, you will see how we're bringing these qualities to life. From Andrea, you'll see how we're attracting and inspiring consumers. And Adrian is going to talk about how we're connecting with buyers at the most critical moments in their shopping journey, all with the goal of turning more buyers into loyal eBay enthusiasts. The fruit of our labor is creating competitive advantage for you. Thank you. Back over to you, Andrea.
Thanks, Thomas. That was great. Thank you. All right. So I'm back. So we have a clear target audience from staff, and thanks to Thomas, we also have a clear understanding of what our buyers expect and what they value, and what compels them to think of our brand. Now it's time to talk about how we get their attention, how we get in their heads, and how we're there when they are ready to buy. When we were planning for Open, I realized it would take us a whole day to catch up on all the ways that we're marketing the eBay brand and the specific categories to millions of potential buyers out there. So to illustrate how we're approaching marketing, I thought it'd be easier to focus on a single campaign. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share our marketing journey through the lens of eBay Motors. eBay Motors' parts and accessories category boasts more than 40 million buyers worldwide who shop our marketplace of 500 million live listings. This is a large and established business where eBay is a leader. But while P&A is one of our largest and strongest categories, it's also a highly competitive one, with digital newcomers and bricks and clicks players increasingly competing with us for market share. To win and grow in this space, we need to deepen our connection with existing customers while introducing ourselves to a whole new generation of motors enthusiasts. In the US, that gives us an audience of about 100 million consumers. That's a massive audience. And to design a campaign that would be effective, we started with consumer insights from Thomas's team. We learned about the different consumer segments who shop for auto parts online and really drilled into what they're looking for. This is a category with a demanding base. They want quality, they expect selection, and they look for value. But probably the most important thing is that they must have confidence that they will receive the exact item they need and be sure that it's a perfect fit for their vehicle. In sum, the campaign needed to show that P&A consumers could find just about any part and do that while trusting both the fit of the item and the eBay experience. With all this context in mind, we landed on a promise. eBay is the place to get the right parts at the right price with experts at the ready. And we gave the campaign a tagline, "Let's Ride." Starting from this promise and tagline and moving into specific creative, we've tested everything to make sure the message we're delivering sticks with this audience. And the great news is that the Let's Ride campaign has been the best performing, most impactful campaign eBay has tested in the last 4 years, which is amazing. But it's not enough just to have great creative and messaging. We also need to make sure that the campaign shows up in the right places so that we're able to connect Let's Ride with the millions of auto consumers out there. To do that, we turned our sites to the media markets and channels where P&A consumers get their inspiration and information, as well as the places they go to engage in community with like-minded enthusiasts. We targeted their favorite news and entertainment sites and their everyday social channels. In short, we built a campaign that fits seamlessly into millions of auto enthusiasts' daily experiences. We hit the airwaves. What's a more appropriate place to connect with drivers, riders, and auto enthusiasts than when they're in their cars and listening to the radio? We threw ourselves into delivering amazing branded video content designed to educate and entertain. Running on traditional TV as well as online, these spots hook our audience while delivering our message of choice, expertise, and trust. And maybe most importantly, we invested heavily in social. In the past few years, we've launched several eBay category-specific social media handles, as well as groundbreaking social media experiences for our enthusiast buyers. We're on every major social platform, and our presence on sites like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube has resulted in strong growth in awareness and consideration and engagement, particularly among younger audiences. So with Let's Ride, we wanted to show up big across social. That meant reinvigorating our eBay Motors handles, as well as investing in platforms like YouTube, where we ran content like this.
When I need parts I can trust, I go to eBay Motors. They have all the right parts at the right prices. Whether I'm on 2 wheels, 4 wheels, or no wheels. Let's ride.
I hope a lot of you have seen that creative. But we didn't stop there. To gain even more awareness and build on our existing credibility, we reconnected with the most well-attended auto events in the US. You may have seen us kick off our campaign last year with a strong presence at SEMA. And earlier this year, we made major headlines with our first ever New York Auto Parts Show, designed to demonstrate how eBay is an indispensable partner to any car enthusiast looking to build, fix, or maintain their dream vehicle. Through it all, we're partnering with influencers like Sydney Sweeney, Freddie Tavarish, Jay Shia, and Rich Rebuilds, and there's a lot more on the horizon. Even with all those channels covered, we're not slowing down. We're keeping the media in our sites with smart and timely headline-driving announcements and news, from staying at the center of industry trends to leaning into rare listings and cultural consumer moments. We're always inserting eBay into stories to drive coverage and even more clicks for you. And through it all, we're measuring as we go. We don't just think our marketing is sticking with consumers, we have proof that it is. Not only are we seeing great consumer reaction, we also know that 92% of our target consumers are aware of our campaign, which is massive. This is how we're going to win in the hearts and minds of P&A consumers, delighting them before they even know what they're shopping for, so that when they do know, they come to eBay. Waking buyers up and linking them to our brand for the joy of driving, riding, and building. And as you look at the results of Let's Ride, keep in mind that there is so much more to come. We're going to connect with many more consumer audiences across multiple categories, from fashion and luxury to collectibles and refurbished. This strategy is putting our brand squarely on consumers' radar. We're introducing eBay to audiences that have never seen us before, while also rekindling our relationship with buyers we haven't seen in a while. And we'll keep connecting by marketing to them creatively, meeting them where they are, and engaging with them authentically. It's an amazing time for eBay, and I'm even more excited about what's ahead. This is just the start of our marketing journey. And it doesn't stop with me. I'm going to turn the mic over to Adrian Fung, who leads our what we call customer and performance marketing. So he can walk us through what happens when we're on a customer's mind and they're ready to buy. Thanks, Adrian.
That was awesome.
Oh, sorry.
That was so exciting. Thank you, Andrea. Hi, everyone. I'm Adrian Fung. I'm the VP of Customer and Performance Marketing. And I can't tell you how excited I am about everything that Andrea just talked about. She talked about driving towards winning the consideration and delight battle for all of our buyers out there. Her description of waking consumers up to eBay is spot on. But once they come to eBay, once they're on our radar and the brand is something they're willing to consider, that's where my team comes in. We take it to the next level by serving up the most relevant listings from all of our sellers to those aware buyers. When a consumer searches on Google or starts researching a product, we're going to be right there at the tip of their fingertips, ready for them to click. What I'm going to share are some highly effective ways we're showing up to deliver those final mile clicks to those listings. A significant portion of our most effective marketing comes from big investments in digital marketing that specifically show your inventory to the most interested buyers. When a buyer starts to buy, sites like Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more, these increasingly make up a significant chunk of our overall advertising. Our in-house affiliate program, which we call the eBay Partner Network, markets your listings to over 7,000 of the internet's biggest cashback deals, financial service players like Rakuten, Slick Deals, Capital One Shopping, Klarna, and more. Together, this represents the largest marketing investment, and we're committed to continuing to grow that effectiveness. You can see from the numbers running down the screen how powerful the reach is. When you think of all the work that you just saw Andrea talk about to imprint eBay on the consumer's radar, combining that with the scale of putting your listings across all these different traffic partners, you're showing up and showing up big. It's 450 million daily impressions in the US. This is how often our buyers are seeing our brand and your listings on all those sites that they visit. 7 million times a day, US shoppers are clicking onto our site. That's the power of all these different placements. Consumers use search engines with specific intent. They're going to Google to find answers, get solutions, and more importantly, find specific products. This is where your listings show up on our major search engines. But not just on search engines, your listings are showing up in all sorts of other places, whether it's text ads, social images, display video, that appear as users are researching and evaluating options online. Our goal is to turn these browsers into first-time buyers, then ultimately return buyers, like Thomas was talking about with the loyalty loop. And it doesn't stop with just search. We've been expanding all the different channels where your listings show up. And this year we've been expanding into more and more channels. We've added inventory onto TikTok and Pinterest while we're continuing to expand our use of social channels like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We know consumers trust influencers, experts like Jay Shia that was in the ad that Andrea showed you. So we're working with the best, most trusted, incredible members of different communities, content creators who are known by enthusiasts and will amplify the value of your listings. This also extends into the various advertising partnerships we work with. For the eBay Partner Network, this year we've expanded into many new partners, including Microsoft and Skimlinks, who have access to millions of qualified buyers. Our investment in these partnerships means eBay and your listings show up where consumers research, where they get inspired, and where they're looking to buy. And that's helping to drive more traffic to your listings. And we're not stopping just there. Our strategy and technology ensures that your listings land squarely in front of qualified consumers in personalized and relevant ways. Like our email program, where consumers will be constantly reminded of things like the categories they visit, the listings they view, and other types of content that will help inspire them to buy. We send out 14 billion emails a year to our buyers, but this isn't just random emails, random spam. There's a lot of technology, data, and science that goes into this, and it drives highly curated, targeted, and personalized messages, where the algorithms and signals that buyers are seeing make sure that the items and the content is the most relevant and gets to them at the right place and the right time. In addition to email, we have a very robust push notification program where we send out almost 11 billion push notifications a year. These, again, are highly tailored, based on science, messages that pop up on your mobile phone, showing shoppers that have either expressed interest in your listings or purchased in the past to get them to come back and inspire them to revisit your inventory. As we see the impact in the shape of benchmark-breaking performance in all of our major markets. This year alone, we've increased the click-through rate by 28%. Through personalization, science, constant testing, and some incredible creativity, we're giving you an advantage when you list at eBay. We do a lot of the heavy lifting, figuring out what customers want, presenting them with the right message in the right place at the right time, and all of this work has a massive impact. In fact, 40% of all the sales on the site come from some of the advertising listings that I just talked about. And that's not at all. This performance marketing alone is bringing in millions of new buyers to your inventory every year. In fact, 1 out of every 3 new and returning shoppers comes from these activities. That's a super meaningful number, and we intend to keep growing it for you. I'm going to add one more thing. We've covered the ways that marketing is working for you, but there's lots of things that you can do that will actually help amplify this effect. That you can gain more control over your own destiny with things like store subscriptions, newsletters, and promoted listings. Tomorrow, Ashish will talk a little bit more about each of these areas and how you can use them to amplify the work that you're doing and drive more sales for you. So, we know that this is a lot to digest in 20 minutes. At the core, we're connecting you to the right buyers at the right time, making eBay top of mind at every stage of the purchase journey. But again, today we focused on just one campaign to show you just how we're coming through, to give you the soup to nuts vantage points. Frankly, we only scratched the surface of all the ways we're engaging buyers, showing them how we are the marketplace of choice for anyone with passion. For fun, I'm just going to leave you with a little teaser of our recent Let's Ride work. I think it'll drive home everything you just heard and leave you excited for our marketing and growth ahead.
eBay Motors has been a gearhead go-to for nearly 20 years, but at one point, we were stalled out on the highway while the other guys sped on by. Then we said, hey, we're eBay Motors, and when things need a tune-up, a little upgrade here and there, we're the place to go. So we set out to reclaim our spot on the track. This time, with a team, a whole community behind us, and a mission to get everyone the right parts at the right prices. We began with a rallying cry, "Let's ride," encouraging everyone to get out on the road. It became a unified platform for growth, a platform built for the community by real voices inside the community. And these icons help us spread the word. No matter how many wheels you ride,
2 wheels, 4 wheels, or no wheels.
which kind of wheels you love,
Exotic wheels. Gold wheels.
how old or new your car is.
Parts for new cars, parts for cars about as old as I am.
eBay Motors has parts and accessories for everyone.
122 million of them. Where would I get all those shelves?
That's Automotive Hall of Famer Ray Magliozzi. His authenticity embodies the spirit of our brand, so we made him the voice of our entire campaign.
Didn't anyone tell you I was on vacation? Ray Magliozzi here. I don't cook much, but when I need ingredients for my car, eBay Motors has 122 million options. So whether I toasted my transmission or cooked my clutch, eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices.
We've reached more people than we have parts, and we listened as our community revved their engines in the comments section. So here's what's next. We sustain our investment in parts and accessories. We put our money where our people are and let them know this isn't just about what parts you can buy or sell. It's about a community for you and your vehicle to call home. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
That was awesome. I want to close with a promise that we're promoting eBay and your inventory across category after category, from collectibles and trading cards to fashion, watches and jewelry, refurbished and electronics, home and garden, and more. We're just getting started. This is a truly exciting beginning of a long and very strategic and very focused journey to put eBay and your inventory center stage with buyers across every category, every age, and every interest. So, from me and Andrea and Thomas, enjoy the rest of the event, and thanks so much for joining us at eBay Open.